case study. If you could locate it, let me know, then I'll explain to you. This is one of the very critical case study for industrial unrest in India. Okay, you read it, I'll explain you.
Okay.
Are you able to locate in your this one? LMS? Can you open your LMS?
Yeah, okay.
Open your LMS, go to that class PPT. I have to changing this one. Again, I have to stop the screen and then go back.
Stop screen and
You be around here. Huh? Come, please come. Rhea, if you don't mind, thoda sa pani bhar ke de. How are you, son? He made life comfortable this time. Lunch? You could open?
Okay.
You got it, na? The title is Case Study Labor Unrest at Manesar Plant of Maruti Suzuki 2012.
Yes, sir.
Just casually go through without any stress and tension. I will explain you in a simplified manner. Okay? Or if you guys want to explain more, you're most welcome. But please read. Open this case study in your LMS. You open your LMS. No laptop? It's okay. You can manage with your mobile. You could open. Why? Thank you. If you're not able to open, then I have to screen it for you. So better you open that CC. You could open. You open it, class PPT, go to class PPT. There's one thing on Manesar. You go to class PPT, not announcements. Oh, yeah. Where's your class? You go.
here at the
Where is your HRM? This is HRM, right? Okay. Model question paper. Where is your PPT? The side menu. It's the side. There's a class PPT, no? Or what? Wherever you see all your material. You could get. That one, yeah. Now teach them this one. This one. Okay. Now teach them how did you go. So this three team member will explain the case today. Okay. I will assist you guys. Good. You got it now? You could get it now?
Yeah.
Guys, you are able to open or no?
Sir, in the class PPT,
Hello. Yes. Please go ahead. Ask me.
Sir, in the class PPT, where is it located? I'm just
If you go to that class PPT,
Yes.
when you open the class PPT, there are many materials there,
yes.
including there is one thing on Manesher. It's a Word document.
Word document.
Yeah. There is one PPT also. There's one Word document also. You go through the Word document.
Word.
You got it?
JS Word, right, sir?
Sorry?
JS Word.
It is Manesher plant.
Malaysia.
No, I can't hear you. Yours is not. Are you able to locate or not?
Only two, sir. One is JS Word.
Yeah.
Just a minute, sir. Just 1 minute.
Yeah. You can see in my screen also. You could open or no? Why net is not working? You could get both of you? Yeah.
You're now connected to Boat Rockers 400.
Sir, the class PPT, if I open,
Not PPT.
there's some disturbance.
You shared. I think they've already shared in the group also, in the WhatsApp. Okay, then please go through that. Somebody have to mute it. Right. Is it okay now? Can you hear me? No. Because I muted myself.
Sir, yes, sir.
You can hear me. Okay, great. Like it's working there, not. So they've already shared. Please, could you go through it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's very important case study. If somebody can understand this case study and somebody can discuss with you, you can understand the whole concept of industrial unrest. Why it is happening, how it could be avoided, and if you don't handle it properly, what kind of damage it can take. Since we are not studied more on the labor law, I thought at least I have one case study with all the concepts we can discuss through this case study. Madam, you could open. In any case, they shared, na? Net, okay, that I cannot help it. You got LMS open? Go to PPT. Class PPT. Why it looking so dull? Yeah, no light. No opening. Yeah. Network is so slow. Your net or institute network? Why institute Wi-Fi doesn't work? Okay, only you have to use where. What is this? Okay, then. Otherwise, I'll just run through it. Online students, all of you got it, right?
Yes, sir. I got it.
Any help you want, please let me know. Let me also read while you are ready.
Okay.
Any help you need while reading, please let me know. All those who joined late, online student, I hope you are reading that case study, right? Am I audible, online students?
Yes, sir, we are reading.
Okay, good. I hope it's interesting to read. Boring or interesting? Which you should have read yesterday night. Okay, no problem. Online students, you are reading, right?
Yes, sir.
Is it interesting? Good going?
Yes, sir. It's interesting.
Okay. So you guys are going to explain the case, not me. Though I have come prepared with my slides. The bonus, once you read this other case study, I don't want you to read. I will tell you the whole case study also, Workman. I will tell you like a story and then I'll explain also. So today you will go away with 2 case studies. Okay. And plus I also give you, if you do both 2, I'll give you the questions. The rider. Okay. If you do both good, then I'll give you the questions. Otherwise, no. Otherwise, go and read such a big book. Dassler and Armstrong, 2 books are there in your LMS, right? You're happy to read those 2 books? Very good books. How many pages you guys read? 11. Good. Only 6. 7 pages left. Huh? You got the grip of it. Yeah. You will explain. She's keeping quiet, your partner. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't know whether we'll be able to do with keywords what you are expecting.
Don't worry, which I will give you.
Read the article, sir.
Read the article. And can we wait for another 5 minutes? Let everybody complete. I think they are on the 11th page.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure, sir. Sure.
Okay. In between, you'll jot down your points. What is the objective of this case study? Hello?
Yes,
Otherwise,
sir.
okay, let them read. Can we simultaneously discuss? Yeah, please, let's discuss. Okay. How many pages you read, madam? 9 pages. All of you read 9, 10? Okay, fair enough. Okay, let's start with that. What is the objective of this case study? First of all, why I want you to read this case study? It's such a nice environment, nice weather. Why I want you to read this case study?
To understand the pros and cons of HR engagement that can have positive or a negative effect on the outcomes in their situation.
Good, very good. What else? First of all, this course is called HRM, which is not the right line. No, the course is employee engagement, employee management. In the employee management, there are 2 dimensions. One is HRM, one is IR. We have been heavily discussing on the HRM, right? Let's go back to the first class. We talked about HRM, we talked about transactional HRM, we talked about transformational HRM, we talked about strategic HRM. All those things comes under HRM, under the employee management. There is also equally important is that IR, industrial relations and industrial relations management. Okay, so though we are not doing justice by taking many classes, but I thought at least one lecture you should know what is IR. Okay, that is why we wanted you to study this IR one, this case study. Now coming back to this, sorry. Can you unmute? I'll unmute. Is it okay now? Yeah. Okay, now that's the purpose of it. The IR course, normally they call it HRM. It's not, if you call HRM, then you are not talking about IR. But most of you are working for IT and retail industry, may not be understanding the importance and relevance of IR. But if you read this case study, every day they were losing 75 crores. And many people gone, including the so-called VPHR also gone to the heaven, right? And many people's legs and hands, they're broken. They were all in the orthopedic session. And plus the brand image of the company also, Maruti is gone for a task, which means IR is also equally important. If you take back, based on my experience, if you see 20-30 major strikes in India, most of the strikes due to whom? Employer. If you say employer, I'll catch you, you have to answer. Come on, guys, online student.
I would say employer, sir.
Good, very good point. I mean, if you see most of the industrial, there are many, I mean, Calcutta, Samshedpur, West Bengal, many industries have been closed down. There are, to some extent, there are very, adamant unions like communist unions and some unions, they went for the sake of strike even without a reason. That's all extremes. Most of the cases, based on my own experience in my own life, it is all due to employers' non-awareness of labor law, non-awareness of sensitive to the employees, not taking a transparent and open, cool decisions. If they are not only taking transparent decision, they'll also join with politics. If somebody is trying to, in this case also will come to the point, if somebody is trying to ask for something, you try to sideline that guy, either pay him, promote him or retire him. So it goes back to the other guy saying that, and there are multiplicity of unions. There are 2-3 unions. They always expect you to make a mistake. The moment you make a mistake, they will go and tell the workers. So mostly by and large, IR is also equally important, especially when you are going to work with the manufacturing industries where large workforce is involved. Most of your IT companies who are working in IT, you may not be understanding the relevance and importance and the significance of the IR issues. But manufacturing, yes. Even recently we got into this in Chennai-based automobile industry also, no, right?
In IT also, sir, we get to see the same.
Sorry?
In IT also, we get to see a lot of relationship issues that does happen.
Now, why you don't get to see in IT? That's an interesting question. When I talk about it's happening in manufacturing, why it will not happen in IT industry?
IT, sir, it is there, but it is less visible because everyone is sitting in different locations. They not be working in same location. It's not like you have to see each other. You have to be in one single location all the time.
Oh, that is also correct. What could be the other reason why it's happening in manufacturing industry? Why not in IT industry?
There is no union, sir, in IT.
Yeah. As I told you, who is a workman? Again, we'll go back to the first class here while concluding. Who is a workman? Are you a workman? What is the classification of employee? One classification is workman. Okay. There is a employee is a one common denominator. There's a one. Suppose you take any IT industry or you take even IT industries. You are a programmer or a manager or something like that. Okay. You are getting a salary of 30,000 rupees or you are a manager IT. You are not a workman. You are a white collar kind of job. Okay. Then who is a workman? On the top of it, there are leaders. They are also not workmen. Okay.
Blue collared people who are working in the offices who are not
Right.
high skilled.
Yeah, those who are not high skill, they are blue collar workmen, and their salary is not much. Though the labor law says anybody is getting salary more than 15,000 will not be a workman as per the law. But as per the practical judgment by the very, what are the sources of law? It may be interesting and boring for you today because everything is jumbled here. Act says anybody who's getting salary more than 15,000 will not be a workman. But today, any industry, blue collar man getting a 20,000, 20,000 plus. Then the Supreme Court, High Court come and said that act is nonsense. Yeah, I have the right to give. My source of law is more than the law, more than the act passed in that one. That's what Indian Constitution says. They come and said that you may be getting even 50,000 rupees salary. There are judgments which said the chief engineer of a factory is a workman. He's a workman. If you go in a normal understanding of a labor law, the simple definition is that anybody's salary is more than 15 or 20,000 rupees is not a workman. But there are judgments given by the Supreme Court. A chief engineer of a factory is a workman because his designation may be chief engineer, his salary may be more, but he was treated like a workman. He didn't have the power of authority. He didn't have the power of recruitment. He didn't have the power of purchasing. He was almost like not a guy who's involved in decision making or review making. So that's an extreme judgment has gone into that. Now, why it is not? The question is, we started with why it's not happening in this one. In IT, you have mostly knowledge workers. Okay, you are not coming under the blue collar. There could be a lot of workers in IT also whose salary, who may be coming under the workman category. First of all, let's be very clear with that. What is the employee classification? One is a workman. That's the bottom line. Normally, whose salary is less, say 15,000 or 20,000. To them, all laws are applicable, like ESI Act, Bonus Act, PF Act. All those acts are applicable. Okay, that's called workman. The next level is you call it, you people like you are on officers and managers who are getting more salary, more qualified. You are not a workman as per the label. Then the third could be where leaders and managers. They are also not workmen. So the industrial rest takes place where? Not at your level, not at the leaders level. The industrial unrest takes place only at the blue collar level. Okay, now when you talk about the blue collar level, there could be different level of people. Permanent employees, contract employees, temporary employees. These becomes a source of dispute. Okay, so now you are clear. What is the framework of industrial labor law? You are not coming under. That's why IT industry cannot come under. One, the knowledge workers, you have the right to go. Then how you are governed? As a workman, X is governed under the Minimum Act, PSI Act, ESI Act, and all those things. Any grievances they can take under the shelter in this laws to the Industrial Dispute Act, and then come back into your service and claim what all. What is that you can take shelter as a white collar employee? You are not a workman. You cannot take shelter in labor law. You also can have a grievance, right? They have not paid equally. On the other side, last week I was in a big conference called Diverse and Inclusion. There should be equality of pay, equality of gender, and all those things we talk. But I don't think practically it's happening, right? In most of the industries, including IT industries. So when you have a grievance, which law you will go through? I said you are not a labor. You are not a workman. You are not a workman because you are not a labor. You are not a blue collar worker. Okay. Then you also can have a grievances, right? Your termination can be wrong. Yeah, your promotion can be withheld discriminately. Okay, your increment has been stopped, or there has not been no equal scope of contribution is given to all of you. You all stomach it, right? Somebody has got a scope to contribute. Somebody is equally capable. They don't have a scope to contribute. Correct? Am I talking practically or not practically? This must be happening in day out for you guys. So one side I given you good scope to contribute. On the other side, I'll also give you promotion and more money because you're contributing. The other poor lady, she has not been given the scope to contribute. And I will also punish her, you're not contributing. Happens or not happens? So you stomach it. Where do you go for such kind of issues? Which law you'll take? For labor, there's a law called Industrial Dispute Act. You can go to them, sue them, ask them to pay back all your salary, and ask them to make reinstatement with back salary and things like that. Okay, that is a full scope. They can go to the labor court to get your bonus, get your increment, get your minimum salary. Everything you can get it done through either labor court or Industrial Dispute Act cancellation. Where do you go? I said you are not a workman. You are not a labor. Where do you go? I mean, little away from this case study since we touched this IR issue. Where do you go, guys? You're all educated guys. I have 40 guys. They're 40 plus here 20. Where do you go?
We can also go to the court, sir. Labor law would have provisions which would cover IT employees as well.
Which IT employees it will cover? Only the workman.
No.
Suppose you are a leader in IT company, you are getting 40 lakh salary, 30 lakh salary.
So,
Can you go to labor court?
Yes, I can.
You can go. Okay. Okay.
If I have issues which are genuine in nature, there can be various factors, of course. But that
then
employee can also.
Then why it is called labor court? If you can go, why it is not called employee court?
Because probably, sir, the laws are outdated. So we have adopted constitution from UK. So
Okay.
the way they have formed it, they've written it is it's maybe the name does not suggest, but there definitely are provisions which is under labor law which would cover even IT employees or other sectors as well, which are employees in other domains.
Okay, good. You attempted very well. What I want to say is that the labor court industrial dispute is applicable primarily to the workman only. Even in IT industry, those who are coming under the, maybe have a lot of workmen also in IT industry. Some skilled guys, say electrician, fitters, turners, all those kind of guys who are getting 15,000. Even if you get more salary, they can, strengthen that, definition. I'm a workman and go to the court. For you guys, you are all coming under the Contract Act, Indian Contract Act. Your appointment letter itself is a contract act. So, and plus you are also having whatever unfair practices given to you, you can go to the civil court, not to the labor court. Under the contract provisions, if they are not behaving properly with any of your increment, salary or whatever, you have all the right to go to the, because what is your binding between you and whom? What is the instrument? The instrument is appointment letter, right? The instrument is not the, one instrument is well-known instrument is your appointment letter. What is that implied instrument between you and the employer other than appointment letter? What is the bond? Where is the bond instrument? Have you thought about it? All of you should know. All of you studied employees. Hey, I said the connection between you and me, I'm an employer or employee. Where is the instrument tying between appointment letter? Wherever dispute and all has to be taken through the appointment letter. That's open. It's external open. There's something more to you. That comes under again appointment letter. Come on, guys, online student. Online student. What is the instrument through which you can, always take up your issues for resolving? Appointment letter, salary slip, everything a part of appointment letter, extension of appointment. What else?
Ombudsman, if any.
Ombudsman. Okay, yeah, you can do that.
Email
Guys,
communication.
I'm happy to address you guys today. 40 guys, you should know your right. You don't know your own right. Okay, one is appointment letter, which is open. The other thing is Indian Constitution fundamental rights. Okay, you have full right to take up any grievances which is not explained in the appointment letter, even by mistake wrongly explained in the appointment letter, which will not hold. That is where the judicial review of the Indian Constitution comes in. Now, you guys are tracking me to different levels here. Now, if I have to know that one, what is Indian Constitution? All of you know about Indian Constitution? As a professional guys, you should know more about Indian Constitution. What is Indian Constitution? India. Okay. What are the three major wings of Indian Constitution? No, that's all fundamental right. What is the three major wings of Indian Constitution? Legislature, executive,
Parliament, legislature,
executive and judiciary.
judiciary.
Okay. What is the role of a legislature? To pass the act. Income Tax Act, the Bonus Act, or whichever act they want to pass it. It is done by the state legislature as well as by the central. Okay, what is executive? Implementing it. All the IS officer and the commissioner, this and that, although they execute it. What is judiciary? The court. Okay. Now the Indian Constitution has been drawn from more than 17 constitutions in the world. When late Mr. Ambedkar was main architect in designing our Indian Constitution, they very well drawn from the best 17 constitution and they talk all the points here. Okay, the best point of our Indian Constitution is everybody has got full power. The state legislature or central legislature has got the authority to pass the law. Okay, you have the right to pass. But at the same time, if you pass anything not relevant, unconstitutional, the court can stay null and void. Okay. And similarly, the court cannot pass an act. See, everybody, this is called judicial review or checks and balance. So the fundamental right, everything comes under the legislature, which has already passed the fundamental rights. You have the freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of job, freedom of everything is provided in that. So if your appointment letter does not carry, you have another instrument. I'll call it instrument like appointment letter, which is not in your hand, but it's applicable to you. You can take shelter in Indian Constitution. You can take shelter in the legislature. You can take shelter in the judiciary through the civil court. You may not go to the appropriate court. It may not be the appropriate court, labor court for you. Even labor court you go, to sometime it may entertain. Otherwise, they will all say, this is not the right forum for you. They will use the word called alternate remedy available to you. What is alternate remedy? Go to civil court, go to high court. And what is the classes you will use? You will use the classes of fundamental rights, which has given you full right to take this thing. That takes care of your one. Okay. Now, I don't know where all we went from here to here. Now, coming back to this guy, most of the industrial relations happen in India is, to my knowledge, is basically due to, it could have been avoided or controlled or minimize the damages had the management been alert, sensitive, aware of the labor law, not get into arrogant, arbitrary, egoistic manner. Oh, they do, I'll do it. Let's move on strike. I'll close the gate and do all those kind. All those kind of arrogancy, not aware of the law, not complying the law, or over complying the law. Suppose the bonus act says minimum bonus is 8.33, maximum bonus is 20%. The act doesn't say pay more than 20%. Sometimes you are very happy they come and talk to you, pay 21%, 22%. But the moment you pay 22%, that becomes a precedence and right for him again to ask more. As long as you are, that is what called over complying. You are not supposed to over comply. If you ask with 20%, your company is making big profit. They don't have any right to claim more than 20%. If they go on strike, you can simply lock it down and tell the court, tell the whosoever the collector and the SSP and officer, come on guy, you come and take care of law and order. So you can push the ball in their court and be happy. Not only that time, in future also. But by mistake, either under pressure or you want to be goody-goody with the employees, give them 20%, you're gone. So most of the strikes, one, according to me, let's conclude, take a poll. To me, it is basically due to the employer. Employer could be top management. Employer could be HR. HR guys, I'll give them the benefit of doubt. In the sense, most of the time, HR guy doesn't have that nerve to go and tell the top manager what you are doing is wrong. Correct. These guys want to always see their face and then try it. Except useless guys like me will go and fight with the MD or chairman or anybody. No, nothing nonsense. Do like this thing. Later on, I know everybody says, no, what SAR says is correct. That time it was not understandable. Now we understand it's correct. Now all the consultancy I take from these guys, they'll give it to me saying that, oh, whatever sir says, take it, because we will not understand what he says that time, but we'll understand later. So now coming back to this one, the maximum happens because of the employer. Anybody would like to dispute this one, online student? Let's go step by step. IR is very important. Are you okay? If you don't handle IR, you are going to lose heavily your productivity, profitability, your lives, your brand, everything is gone. And it's most likely to happen in most of the manufacturing or where industries where large workmen are employed, like automobile industry or a textile industry, or whichever this where more large workmen are employed. So that means we are supposed to aware of the how do we avoid, how do we handle that IR effectively. So if you have to be an expert in handling IR, you should know the nuances of IR, right? Okay. Now coming back to this case, what is the objective of this case? So now you understood IR is equally important as compared to your HRM. Otherwise, these days we talk heavily about HRM. Okay, we don't talk about IR unless you read this case study. I think how many people died? The VP HR has been killed there on the spot. Half a dozen people, they lost their legs and hands, and everybody every day the loss was around 75 crore rupees. To know that. So the company's brand image has gone for a toss. All those things to which company? The company which was started in the year of 1982. And the company was doing very well up to 2000. The company could adopt very well with the foreign culture of Japanese management. There could have been an issue that you are not able to adjust with the culture, a different culture. The company people, the employees could very well adapt with the other culture till 2000. The problem started afterwards only. Correct? If you read the case study properly, right? 2000 onwards started. So now let's come back to this case. What is the objective of this case particularly? Now you understood importance of IR, necessity to handle IR, and IR comes under, most probably it's created by the workman. Okay. Under the workman, this case study will talk. There's a permanent workman. There's a temporary workman. There's a contract workman. They use a word called substitute or badli or casual. Okay. Fourth, and there is an apprentice. First, all of you be very clear with the workman 5 classes. One is permanent guy, means the guy who's been a pitter or a turner, who's been working for more than 3-4 years, is getting full salary, a minimum salary, bonus, everything is a permanent workman. The temporary workman, there's always a dispute about temporary workman. Who is a temporary workman? Normally it says temporary workman comes for a temporary period of time. 6 months, 1 month, 2 years. Suppose Diwali, you want to dispatch more cars. So you take an extra 300 people for 3-4 months, paid them the same salary and given them temporary. Again, the code says there are different definitions. Literally, temporary means temporary. Workman comes to work for 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year. Workman cannot be working in the name of temporary for 5 years, which most of the factory keep them. They show it on the payroll. Temporary workman for 5 years, 6 years. That itself, they are creating the first seat for industrial interest. You are not supposed to keep temporary workman for 5-6 years. Okay. Where you can keep 5-6 years? I always twist it. I will also say there are places where you can keep temporary workman for 5 years. Where? No, contract is different. Okay. You said contract letter can be done. That comes under contract. Don't confuse. Now temporary workman is a temporary. There could be also temporary guys which can be 5 years. So it's unfair labor practice. Suppose you are working here as an assistant professor. Okay. You want to go to Harvard for 5 years on a PhD or postdoctoral fellowship. You are not left this job. You are taking a 5-year sabbatical leave. Your job is there. You are there. You are not here. You are going on a 5-year sabbatical to do something like, which is approved by us. In your place, we are appointing her for 5 years. In that case, the temporary can be on 5 years. You got my point. The post is there, the person is there. But the document, again, the HR guys make a mistake. They don't document properly. If you document so-and-so has taken a 5-year sabbatical leave or unwell for 5 years disabled or 10 years disabled. People could be disabled due to any reason. So I cannot dismiss him just because he's disabled. His post is, this guy is unwell. is not likely to come for 5 years or 10 years. So in that place, I'm appointing. So if you keep a right details and document, you are through. If you don't keep a proper details and document and then keep the name of temporary, you keep it for 5 years, that itself becomes a good case to go to court, and that guy will come back to you as a this one. And what is contract? That's more relevant to this case study. What is contract labor?
They will fix the term for
Sorry?
their work. They will fix the term for their work, maybe for 3 months, 6 months, and the nature of work.
Look, these 5 things, please remember, it will help you a lot in your life. Permanent, all of you clear. Let's take any factory, some permanent vacancies are for a fitter or a turner. The guy has come on probation. After 6 months or 1 year, he issued a letter saying that you are a permanent worker. Okay. Temporary is what? There are 10 electricians. Out of 2 electricians not unwell. So he is on a leave, or he is not likely to come there for 2 years. So I appointed 2 temporary, the same salary. Temporary doesn't mean I can pay less. Or I need some extra electrician for temporary shortage of time. You can take a term. Contract is anybody who is not to be working on the process or core job. Starting from raw material up to finishing the job, you cannot keep any contract labor. Meaning by take any factory, Titan factory in Hosur or anything. Anybody who's related to gardening. Anybody relating to your what is that? Infrastructure management can be engaged in housekeeping, can be engaged in contract. Contract labor cannot be engaged in the process related work. Process mean what? Starting from the raw material comes in, it goes to the godown, everything is process. If you are trying to put the contract labor in the permanent workman, that is the reason for the union guys to go to the court and get them permanent. Or if you don't do it, they'll go on violence. The government will say that, guys, you made a mistake, you make them permanent, give them all permanent. Who's created this problem? Only these people, management. So the third thing is contract. Contract workman people think contract and temporary is same. I've seen in a lot of pharma company, they keep a big contract worker for 5 years, 10 years, who are all working in the process. And those guys are too smart. They'll keep all the records. Going inside, working in the plant, working such a machine number 10, his posting is allotted and everything is there. All the records are with them. So that's contract. Contract workers mean the contract guy who are not going to work in the process or a core job. Process includes every damn thing. What is not included in core? Tell me. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, this guy says, most of the industry believes I'm not appointing contractor on my record, I appointed through contractor. Third party, which is again closing your eyes like a fool. You can always go through contractor to employ, but where? You are the principal employer. He's a secondary employer. If you are trying to do unfair labor practices through the third contractor, putting that guy in the regular work, that's a reason for industrial strike. This is what I said. Knowledge, no, you don't have a knowledge. If you know the knowledge, you can manipulate very well. If you know income tax very well, then you can manipulate properly. You don't know the law, then how will you manage income tax? You cannot manage, right? Even as you or me or anybody else, if you know how much percentage is allowed for house rent in cities like Bangalore or anywhere else, or if I'm like a freelancer, what all expenses I can book. If I know the law, then try to, I use the word called, nice word called window dressing. I can window dress it within the ambit of the law. Here, blindly they do it. Who? Which kind? Like for, I'm not getting consultants in where? Okay, it's IT company, it's more example. Now you are giving, one is contract employees, the second thing is contract job. Okay, you are giving a particular plant operation itself to somebody else. You're getting, there's a contract employment, contract job. Okay, even those companies, as long as that documents are put in your balance sheet, they cannot pay less than the minimum salary prescribed by the Act. They'll be complying with all those. Your IT company will not fail in that one. But manufacturing companies, they don't know, or even if they know, they take a risk. Contract labor means cheap labor for the manufacturing company. If I'm paying 15,000 rupees to a fitter, permanent fitter, contract labor, I'll pay 10,000. That is why they are using contract labor. Without knowing, you can use permanent, you can use temporary, you can use contract, you can use government apprentices. You can also use substitutes. If somebody is sick every government, then you have 10, 20 people to come and work on a daily wage basis. But all their salary will be equivalent, fundamental right. If an unwaged, unskilled workman will get 10,000 mean, whether it's permanent or temporary contract, everybody has to get permanent. So what we do, we think that contract labor means we can pay much less. So we are creating room. That's what employer creates. No, see, there is an IT company. Okay, you given part of your programming to some other consultancy company. They are engaging their own employees. Okay, they are paying all those things. And all those, whatever we are paying payments, you become a secondary employer. I become a principal employer. I have the right to give it to any consultancy to work on that. But I am accountable. I will go to the court if you don't pay the minimum salary to your own employees. The principal employer is responsible. Consultancy company will go away with it. That's why your IT company will not make that kind of mistake. They will not make a mistake. Manufacturing company, they'll make a mistake. So come on. The what? Yeah. Yeah. Come on. You listen to banking industry, what they do. Sorry, subsidiary company. See, there are number one, even though other company which they are paying, they have to pay the minimum salary. If they are not paying minimum salary, your main bank, Axis Bank, is accountable. Number one. Number two, all that these people are trying to do is that, if once they become permanent of main Axis, it's very difficult to remove them. It is easier when they put it in a secondary or third company. It is easier for them psychologically to remove them, or people will go away. These are the two. What is your next question in that? It's if you all explain it, it's called unfair labor practices, because you are bringing that company to work here. You're doing it, but the work-wise, you and that person is sitting together on the same floor and working. Yeah, if they want to challenge, they can challenge. But I'm sure they must be paying all the benefits equally to them. That is why they are not challenging. They are not challenging. But manufacturing, they don't do that. Okay, now you understood permanent, you understood temporary, you understood the contract labor also. Mostly contract labor is misunderstood, and 70% of the industrial strike is due to contract labor mismanagement. I said, first conclusion I given you, most industrial unrest is due to the employer's mistake. The second thing is, out of that 75, 80% is because you don't have a knowledge about contract labor. See, it makes very simple. How do you manage means? One, you should know about the law. This, not entire law, the basic concept. Like what I told you, understood, right? Contract till today, you understood contract labor is something like temporary. Temporary also can. Contract labor, temporary also okay, you can understand. But contract labor is nothing to do with your employment, which you have not understood. Okay. Now, so you mean to say you cannot put, you can manage, if you know, then I'll tell you how to manipulate. I am a great manipulator, I manipulated also. That also you can do. But if you have a thorough knowledge about the law, tactics, tips and strategies, then you can manipulate very well. I don't know whether to teach you that or not. It's unethical. But sometimes most of the job of the HR guys at the IR industry is how to keep the company out of danger, By manipulating the labor laws. That would be your KRA. Okay, I'll tell you one example. How did I manipulate? Very beautifully. Here only in John Distillery, there's one company. Mostly the bottling, no? Where the bottle line goes, they fill the whiskey, brandy, and all. Mostly the lady workers used to come and work. Maybe every day, I remember every day it's 500, 600 workers used to work. And these guys were not paying them the minimum salary. Okay, minimum salary that particular time, maybe 10 years back, say 10,000 rupees. What these guys will say, distillery guys, they'll pay them 5,000 rupees. Okay, and they'll pick them from the house, drop them from the house. These ladies are too happy. And then in the morning also, they give them breakfast. They don't have to worry in the house. Lady psychology, poor that village lady psychology. I don't have to cook in the morning. I go in the bus. In the gate itself, I get a good breakfast. Lunch, I get it. Evening also, they'll give me some mixture packet or something. I go back, enjoy. So 5,000 to pay you. This will cost me another 1,000 rupees, 6,000 rupees. Whereas the minimum salary is supposed to be 15,000 or 12,000 rupees. And they cannot be contract. Even if they are contract labor, the act says you have to pay them minimum salary. Now, how do you handle this thing? And if I pay everything, that time I remember the extra pay bill was coming to 3 to 4 crore rupees. This happened under my leadership. Okay, that company every day was dispatching between 20 to 25 trucks of bottled whiskey and rum. Okay, now if they have to comply with that act, it was, yeah. Basic say plus day allowance, it comes to total, say 10. Every year the government comes with a notification. Dearness allowance, basic, blah, blah, everything they put together, they'll give. Now, how do you handle this case? You pay, you are an HR guy of this plant. You say, sir, you have to implement it. The MD will say, go home. Because it's going to cost me 5 crore rupees per annum. Are you getting? I don't know whether I have to tell you guys or not. To please, guys, online student, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
There's a job. I one side, I always say complicate you guys. One side I say HR guy should know the labor law, contract law. You have to pay minimum salary. You should go and teach the management. Okay. All well said. And I am the MD. Come to me. Sir, the labor law is like this, you have to comply. I will say, I'm a pure businessman, the other side. I'll say it's going to cost me 4 crore rupees extra for this plan. You get lost, leave your job and go. I want somebody who can help me. I don't pay 4 crore rupees also, and yet I don't get into trouble.
Union, sir.
Huh? How union can help you?
We can tell them that this is the low and
It is not sustainable. One union, other union, third union will crop up. Oh, this guy is getting benefit. This is what this Maruti case guys did it. Right? Huh? How? This is everything is computerized, right? How? Tell me, you are getting somewhere nearer. How? This guy is a very shrewd guy. Be careful with him. He looks very silent. Okay. How? Tell me. Huh? That's why. Nah. That's how much you are in this particular case, minimum salary 10,000. You are paying that poor lady 5,000. You are paying breakfast, lunch, and evening some snacks. And bus me picking up, dropping it. Okay. I given the whole. Sorry? Okay, you go put it everything, another 2,000 will come.
Hire third vendors, like, who would have employees who would work at his location and get the task done. Certain kind of, activity can be offloaded to such kind of vendor.
No, the people have to work in your own plant, under your premises, in the plant, bottling plant, they have to work.
Show them as contractual employee.
Contract only you are using. But contract labor also, as I told you, you are supposed to pay the minimum salary. Contracted labor doesn't mean, okay, there are two disputes.
How about showing the bonus and
how much you'll show? See, first of all of you guys, this is a process job, right? Core job. We are not supposed to have a contract employee. Okay, even 1 minute I'll say, okay, I don't bother about the law. I'll keep them as a contract labor, which is what they do. Okay. And these poor ladies, they don't fight for contracted permanent because they themselves are not permanent. The village people, they come for short holidays or come to their family home. They work for 3 months, 6 months. They make money and go. They are not also bothered about the permanent or contract. Okay, they are all bothered about, okay, 6 months I'm here. I'm enjoying making some money. I'm going home. That was the psychology of those people. Okay. Now, contract and permanent is a one dispute which will not implicate you. But the minimum salary will implicate you, right? You will say, I will employ through the contractor. I said, contractor is not accountable. You are accountable as a principal employee. Okay, so what is the remedy? And the good point in this case was the so-called ladies, they were not objecting it. That's a ice on the cake. If they were objecting it, I could not have manipulated, right? They said, this is a big bonus for me. 5,000 they are giving me, they are giving me, picking up or dropping, nice breakfast. I don't know, they get up in the morning and cook my breakfast, nice lunch. Evening going back, snacks, some carrying some snacks also. On bus, I'm chit-chatting and listening to songs and going home. Who bothers about minimum salary? That was the psychology. I'm telling you, practically it happened 10 years back here, right on the Mysore road. Okay. So if they objected it, we could not have done it. Okay, this issue has become open in the public. All the distillery, including John Distillery, is not paying minimum salary. It has become a big issue. And when labor inspector and all used to come, we can easily manipulate, pay that guy good money, he'll go tata bye bye. He will write some nonsense comment for the sake of writing. Otherwise, he will write now, he will take money and go, he will not file a case. Okay. But it reached a stage, it has become so public, it has come in the newspaper. All the distilleries are doing like this, like that. So one day, one first bus full up, the local MLA, local leaders, everybody come to inspect what is happening, the fact, because this has become little more, the secret was getting out. These people are not paying and the employees will not react to that. Employees say, then I could have done nothing. Labor inspector also under your control. So the inspection team has come under the local MA and all those people. How do you manage? Come on, HR guy, you tell me. You tell me, I'll give you 10,000 rupees. Otherwise, you have to give us 10,000 rupees for treating all of us. How do you manage? Guys, online student, is it interesting or boring? This example.
Yes, sir. Interesting.
Okay, how do you handle it? The problem is we have been manipulating. It goes on. We are happy. The employees are happy. The labor inspector is also happy. All of us are connected. Each one, nobody's bothered. I'm happy.
Only last remaining picture would be there. In that case, one would say that we support your party only, sir.
Sorry?
Now that you have come, sir, we support your party only.
no, that guy even could not do it. One full bus, many people, diverse people, one MLA, the other area, labor inspector, some representative of some panchayat committee, this committee, there are many people. Full bus they have come. And incidentally, fortunately, we come to know they are coming. That all we are smart enough, industry people. We come to know tomorrow morning they are coming. They reach in the morning. And the computer system, and we have at the entrance itself, there is an entry. There's also an HR system. How did we manage? I'll tell you. We maintain two parallel accounts. Okay, one for the actual employee coming and going. One something like exactly same computer in the gate, same computer in the HR department also, which is the other one is called window dressing. What I did is very smart. I don't know how come this idea has come to me. That you are suppose you have to pay 10,000 rupees. They're not going to see 10,000 rupees. They will see 10,000 divided by 26 days, equivalent to 1 day salary. You cannot do 1 day salary, 10,000 by divided by 30. That's again a Supreme Court judge. So say 10,000 divided by 26 comes to what amount? Yeah, X amount. Some X amount. So that is the minimum salary I'm supposed to pay. I'm not supposed to pay you 10,000 rupees. So what I do is, suppose you work for HR guy. You have come to that point, touched it, you left it. What we did is, suppose he worked for 25 days. I showed him he worked for only 10 days. Are you getting my point? Very smartly we moved it. We said that he worked for 25 days. Actually on record, I showed him only 10 days. For 25 days, he must have got 5,000 rupees. 5,000 rupees, what is the, you just work it out, 10,000 divided by 26, how much? 380, 5,000 divided by 380? No, how many days? 13 days. I shown him 13 days attendance. So I complied with the law. One side. On the other side, the poor ladies, they will ask, they will say, no, we are getting full salary, we are getting everything. But they are worried.
They will ask how much you are getting.
They already been coaxed and trained. That's what I said. If they objected to it, could have done nothing. It was a big manipulation. Yeah. There we were liberally paying them ESA bonus more than that. Instead of 13 days, we are paying for 30 days. As if we are a very royal people. You got my point? Huh. Well, how it's going to impact? I'm getting work. They are happy. I'm happy. 13 days. They are working for 25 days. But for attendance, for complying the minimum law compliance, I'm showing it the so-and-so work for only 13 days. That is possible because these employees are cooperating with you. They go and ask also 10 people, and our works manager will train them. We'll also, that particular day, we'll see that only that particular group of employees come to work. Okay, because it's all saving 4 crore rupees in a year. Huh? No, it was all computer. You run 2 computer, na? 2. Sorry? Everything is 2, yeah.
Sir, we have your recorded confession now on the recorded this video.
Yeah, that's what I said, unethical, but you are also supposed to understand how you can manipulate in a right manner, number 1. Number 2, how you can avoid this kind of manipulation. If you become ethically strong guy, you want to avoid some industry doing this.
But
Because
the red carpet system is so difficult anyhow, sir, that any industry would really struggle to meet all the possible
because
laws and bylaws.
the industry was saying that I was running my company only on the saving of 4 crore rupees of that salary. Huge labor. If I pay minimum salary, that will come to, it was coming to 4 crore rupees extra. If I have to pay extra 4 crore rupees, the company will get closed down. So we all joined together. Employee, labor union leader, and the government official and the management, everything is one. Truck driver, bus driver, everybody is one. But it's not correct. I'm saying that how things can go complicated. So what I'm trying to say is, this is one. One, either if you know the law, you know how to exactly if you're blindly saying that the inspection team is coming, you are showing 25 days and then showing 5,000 rupees salary. If they go on strike, you cannot go and tell them that go on strike also. Rather, it's a criminal offense on you. Why you are paying less? The government can come and put you into jail. From today onward, there's no bargaining. They are not on strike. You are not implementing the law. This is how things goes into that. Now come back to that with all the background we got it here and there. But yeah, what is the doubt? I don't think we'll be able to solve this case today. Yeah. Employees are happy, no? That if employee objected to it, you could have done nothing. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Correct. Right. That's what I'm trying to say. No? Because the employees are accepting it because the demography of that employee is like that. They themselves don't want a permanent job. They themselves don't want a big job. They want a easy going for 3 months. The people are keeping on changing. On the other side, labor law mistake is also, they will ask you to pay bonus, PF, which they themselves don't want. Because they think that we are going back, what will we do with the PF and ESA after 6 months? This is all practicality. Okay, come back to this one. What is the fact of this Maruti case study? You got all the background. Sorry? Out of the whole those things, I'll tell you. Let's conclude only 2. Most of the cases, industrial unrest is done by not handled proactively by the employer. And out of that employer, most of the cases in India is due to contract labor. Because you don't know what is the definition of contract labor. If you know it, you can manipulate. If you don't know, you blindly think that I am not employed, he employed. Without knowing, as a principal employer, he can get away with it. You will go to jail. You have to pay 10 times more. And without knowing, contract labor cannot be engaged in the core job. Without knowing contract labor, even if you are in a core job, Even a peripheral job, you are paying supposed to be the equal salary. That is the background of it. So now, what is the case of this, Maruti? Tell me, what is the objective of this case study? Now you got to know all the Ram Kahani, got a lot of background. Now, what is the objective of this case study? Come on, guys, what is the objective?
Improper HR activity which was engaged to employ people who were not being paid enough in comparison to people, rather regular employees. So the difference was too much, and then they were also violating the law in this
Okay.
part, and that was also triggering a lot of reaction from the community.
Okay. Now, should we go by in my own style? What is the objective of the case study? What is the facts of the case? What is the learning of the case? Only 3 slides is more than enough. All the story and all, you forget it, right? What is the objective of the case study?
How the relation between the company and
Just-
the labor.
Okay, 1 second. You can't see that one. Okay, now what is the objective?
Yeah, how the relation between the company and the labor will
First
Okay.
point, can you read, any one of you? What is the objective written?
highlight the industry.
To highlight the industry relation dynamics accrued on account of non-transparency. You are trying to be hide and seek. If you are going to be non-transparent, if you are not open, if you are doing politics, I'll take care of 2-3 employees. I'll sack some employees. I'll give somebody extra so that other can comply. Or I give to the union leader some extra money, comply. That's all non-transparent, unethical, unfair practices, which we think will help us, which will not help us, will put you into a big problem. That's one reason this case study says don't get into non-transparent. Don't keep lack of trust. Here what they did is, one guy was trying to form a union. In this case study, what they said, they called him one day, paid him heavily money. You don't form a union, yeah, 5 more years left out. Now I'll pay you 10 years salary. Take it and go away. But thinking that as if other people will not know this. You know that what is that particular bird which puts its head in the mud, thinking that other cannot come and hit you. I'm not remembering that bird's name. There's a particular bird which puts the head in the mud, thinking that the body is out. So if I put my head inside the mud, the others cannot hit me. Huh? No. I'm not getting that particular name. Huh? No. I'll tell you. Huh? No, that's all big. Yeah. Anyhow, we'll come back to that. So here, the lack of trust. We think that what they did is that that guy wanted to create a union. They should have allowed it. Rather, without allowing them, what they said is they paid him some money and all, which is what most of the Indian companies they do. What the hell he will do? Yeah, let them come. To me, I go to tell them, challenge. You keep 10 labor unions. I'll also tell you one more. From UP went into Punjab, 1 unit, 1,000 employees, all 3 unions. Bihar Union, UP Union, Punjab Union. Very strong. That story I'll tell you if time permits today. Let them come. No, how does it matter? You go with your own leadership style, clarity, conviction, transparency, openness. No, nobody can hit you. But if you get into that, you are really getting yourself into, you dragged. So here, the lack of trust, you create a lack of trust and ineffective communication. Ineffective communication means you put everything clearly. This much bonus, this much company. So what one case study is, industrial unrelation can be avoided if you have a transparent policy, if you have an open policy, if you create trust, don't create mistrust, and all the policies communicate clearly. That is what this case study is trying to do. What is the explanation to this point? Lack of trust means when the union was trying to create, you did all those kind of things. Transparency, you are not talking to the front level workers at all. Nothing was communicating openly, clearly to that. From this case, all of you remember it is coming. So that is one reason which created you. What is the second objective? The second is to reiterate HR should play employee champion role to facilitate good employee relation and IR atmosphere. I told in SHRM, strategic partner, one employee champion. HR guys should play 40-50% of the time trying to be close to the workers. They are your first customer. People first, employee first. Understand their grievance. Take it up. If the HR doesn't take up that job, either they don't know or the top management doesn't want them to do the role, then IR can come into picture. Second objective. In this case, what happened? The HR guys were not going to the first floor at all. The HR guys were not to talk about close to them. They were working every policy against them without any communication. So they were not working as an employee champion at all. Second objective. The third one is what? To implement labor law as well as avoid unfair labor practices. Here, what is the labor law? Implement labor law. Contract labor, they are not supposed to engage in the factory core. They engage heavily. Not 1 year. This problem has not come up one day. It accrued for factory started in 1980. Up to 2000, it was doing very well. 2012, one nonsense of that guy is trying to create a union. There only you started showing your problem. Then everything bounced back. During that period, you are engaging heavily contract labor, which you are not supposed to. Okay. When you use contract labor, you are supposed to pay the minimum salary. See, there is a negotiation, bargaining can happen at an equal level. Okay. Suppose I'm paying you a bonus 8.33 and bonus limit is 8.33 to 20. Your company had made reasonable profit. You are saying 14%, I'm saying 12%. There is a good cause for genuine labor unrest, genuine negotiation. Getting my point? But the law says, the income tax says, you have to pay 30%, 10%, 20%. I don't want to pay. Then I want to go to High Court for remedy. Can you go to that? Income tax clearly says up to 5.5 lakh rupees, no income tax. Beyond that 10%, beyond that 20, 30% loss. You have to comply with that, right? Similarly here, when you talk about the union dispute, when the act clearly says, don't keep contract labor. That clearly says, if you keep contract labor, pay minimum salary. There is no dispute. They have full right to come and hit you. Are you getting my point? Labor unrest is, they're asking for something. So you are paying some goodwill of washing allowance of 100 rupees. They are coming and asking bargaining for 50 rupees. That's an allowance, which is negotiable, which is a good cause for industrial rest. But you are not complying with the law, then they are the leader. There's no question of collective bargaining, negotiation, nothing. They have the right to come and hit you, catch you by the collar, pay today. And if you don't pay, the administration will come to support them to pay today. If you don't pay, I'll put you into jail. So the case becomes, instead of IR case, it becomes a totally, you're giving away the right to somebody else. So that is the third objective. What it says that implement the labor law to avoid unfair law practices and then prevent the industrial interest. Either implement it or smartly manipulate it. You don't ignore it. I cannot use the word manipulate it. Okay, that's a very difficult one. Very mature guys can only do it. So third objective is that. So what is the fourth one? To fully implement contract law. This is what I was talking a lot. Contract law, labor law is a big pain in the neck in all the industries. So you know exactly what is contract labor law. Then keep, to some extent you can manipulate. Suppose you are engaging 2,000 employees in factory, in Honda factory in Chennai. So you want to keep 100, 200 people. You can put 100, 200 people, 50 people working in the process also, but you can show them they are working in somewhere else. But you cannot say along with 1,000, another 1,000 people working in a peripheral area. The word is core and process oriented. The other thing is peripheral. You cannot say contract labor are working in a peripheral. So that's another how contract. This case is primarily, I think, according to me, in one word, contract labor. It's a big story here and I'll written it. Like a good doctor, what is the next of this? Only one line. They, without understanding or understanding also, they taken it contract labor very casually. Thereby, that guy become an undisputed boss. I become his slave. There's no question of negotiation. When they come to negotiate, you didn't negotiate timely. Then that strike took place and everything took place. Afterward, they reduced. If you read the case correctly, at the end they removed all the contract laborers, which they could have done it earlier. They could have saved everything. Then whose mistake? Well, this guy. What is the next point? To maintain foolproof communication, this is the case study. This case study proves what we said. That if you, it's basically because of employer. If the employer is behaving all those things, such a big industrial unrest of involving criminal, money, brand loss could have been avoided. Have we solved the case study or not? The facts of the case study is what? 1982, they started the factory. Till 2000, it was doing very well. That was the first car in India. by what is that, Rajiv Gandhi's project, all those study, worked in that place. Japanese project was doing very well. I'll tell you all the facts in 2 minutes. Okay, it was all doing very well. 2002, one guy wanted to create one more labor union. That is where the problem started. The management thought, let me finish this guy, by paying him. Finishing him, then there are two ways of finishing. One way is rooting him out totally. The other way is paying him out. So in my case, one guy, I don't know whether I told you guys in the class or not. In one of my case, maybe a little diversion. Did I tell you guys? I have to open my pistol and all those kind. All right, where you have to finish that guy, you have to finish it. Don't keep in between. I believe in that way. Either take care of them to comply properly, or give proper compliance law, or finish that guy once for all. Don't worry. If two guys goes out of the whole population, nothing. He's creating a lot of problem. But you cannot be doing something wrong and finish it. Right? If you are doing right, and that guy is trying to create problem, you have all the right to finish him. I strongly believe that. In any board, I talk like that. But you do it, and you also have to be finished. Okay, come back to this facts of the case. So up to 2012, it was all going all right. The first problem started when somebody wanted to form a union. Let him form, na. I don't know why this aversion to union. Why one? Let me say even 10 union have. When you are complying with the law, when you are doing all those things, why you should be afraid of any union? Like chore nahi, na? If you are a chore, then you have to be afraid, right? Correct. Instead of understanding that, you are trying to do the mishandling. That means what? Your approach to handle that issue. HR guy, right or wrong? Huh? This guy is very shrewd guy. Be careful with him. Okay, simply joking. Don't take. I don't know, but many companies, they are going to form a union. I said, let them form. And under the Trade Union Act, any 7 guys can go and form a union. Let him form, na. Correct. That is what champion. Like Southwest Airlines and all, or any airline, even Tata to a larger. Tata started with the worst case study in India initially. Tata was been known for all those political parties and high-fi parties involved. There are some industrial risks without any reason. This case study, so there's a strong reason. You are engaging contract labor, you are doing unfair labor practices, you are not allowing any union to be recognized. This is all right. There are some parties in the past, just for their own inter-union rivalry. They want to say, I am better than you. Without any cause, they create a problem. That's worst. Huh? All those kind of things. That is the worst case. I'm not talking about that cases here. That is a really other extreme of IR, which is not prevailing now. Now, because all the politicians, because of the CSR and governance and everything, they don't want to openly come and support. Otherwise, the politician will come and openly support. You ask any damn thing, go on strike, threaten the people, kill the people. They'll come into that. That is what they call there's a big mafia in that. So now this group coming back, that created the first problem was he could have formed a union. So it sent the signal to other guys. So now happened. Now the other second thing is, I don't know whether you read it. They have over complied with the law. I said comply, less comply or over comply. These are the two words. One, transparency is you are trying to throw that guy out. So over comply means when the minimum wage act says 10,000, why are you paying 15,000? You have been luxuriously paying. Bonus also you've been luxuriously paying. When you already over complied it, you already spoiled them. When they ask for again more, now you don't want to pay. So that created another major issue for them. So they wanted to ask more salary. The third issue was they engaged a lot of contract labor. Probably they paid little difference between permanent and the contract worker, which is wrong. They could have paid and closed it. One day they come to so far enjoyed it, na. 5 years now they come, okay, close it today itself. If you are a very smart leader, quickly take charge of it, pay it and close and move on. They have not done it. They did it after a long time. By that time, everything has come. So what is the fact is they engaged a lot of contract labor. They paid them less salary, which created a problem. And in the process, these are the major issues. What are the minor issues? In the process, somebody has got suspended. Again, I told you guys, that TA theory, transactional analysis. Instead of, did I tell you the transactional analysis, parent, child, and ego kind of theories? I told you, right? No, I didn't tell you. There's a concept called the TA theory. All of you take a note point. Transactional analysis theory. you can quickly go through in your mobile, TA, transaction analysis. There are three kinds of ego: parent, adult, child ego.
It's transactional.
Analysis, TA
Transactional.
theory. There are Eric Burns, one. There are three kinds of ego. You go through quickly for 5 minutes: child, parent, adult ego. Transactional theory, TA theory. It'll talk about three egos: child, parent, adult. I'll explain it in simple form. Just go through it. This will help you while working in the organization. It will help you in your family. 40% of American divorce has been resolved by making them to go through this theory. Still, it's not 2 o'clock, yeah? Got it? You want explanation or you understood it? It's difficult to understand. I'll make it simple. See, all of us, when we do, all of us invariably, you or me, your father, grandfather, or my grandson, everybody go through three egos when we talk. That's called the child ego, adult ego, parent ego, whenever we communicate. What is a child's nature? Child will demand, cry, obnoxious, and do all those kind of things. Okay. Adult is what? You're supposed to listen properly, matured manner, in a proactive manner to answer them. What is the parent? All the time giving advice. Don't do this thing, do this thing. These are the three egos which go through. Okay. Now, when the union people, maybe like I told in many of the class, when employees, unskilled employees, so much frustrated at home, some issues or something irritated in the plant, when he comes to the HR guy with all obnoxious, I'll do this thing, that thing, you guys are useless. He talks like that. When he talks that time, he talks in a child ego. Okay. If a matured HR guy should behave back in adult ego. Okay. What these guys do, no? Oh, he created misbehavior in my office. Charge him, suspend him. This is what 90% of the HR guys in manufacturing unit, they do it. How can you do it? I'm a bitch HR guy, I'm a big general manager sitting it. Without having an empathy and sympathy, he doesn't want to do that. He did it due to many reasons, right? Maybe something wrong happened in the home, or he's financially corrupt, or in the overtime he's working for a long time, or his workers harassed him, something. So he has come and misbehaved with you in a child ego. Not intentionally, unintentionally. What you are supposed to do? You are supposed to behave in adult. You also behave in the same. I'll see you do that. What is that ego? You are also doing a child ego. Okay, this is also another issue here. What they did is, when this guy say, now you recollect all those reading. Again, I'll tell you, please go back and read after this reading. Then that's all. You read this thing, remember thing. Most of you may not be getting into IR and all, but this will go a long way in your life. Okay, now what happened is here, One guy they suspended or something like that. I think initially when some small issues they suspended, and then they created again the lack of trust. The communication created problem. Okay, now you suspended it. There was no need. Even if you suspended it quickly, you can complete an inquiry. They took long time. So in between all those things, you are doing intel. There are some vested group 2-3 guys. They are trying to see what all faults you guys are making, and then throw some more stone into it. Those guys are waiting. They are too intelligent guys. Maybe some of the union employees are local guys who are not getting a job. Somebody wanted always a job, and Maruti kind of unskilled guys can get a job of 20,000-30,000 rupees salary. And once he gets a job, he cannot be dismissed. So they will do anything to get into that company. And if you don't give, they'll always wait for a chance to create problems, so that you go to him to negotiate and help him. So now, when you are not done that inquiry in time, it went out of hand. So problem, all minor problem. First of all, there was no need for you to send that guy union. 2, you don't have to suspend during this time anybody. Even if suspended, you should have done it in a transparent manner. And suspended, you should have completed the inquiry quickly, not delayed all those things. So all those things aggravated the issues. Sorry? No, this is one. The issue, there are 3 issues now. One issue is basically you're not complied with the law, contract law. These are the minor issues. Not transparent in allowing somebody to have a union, the other people suspended, or suspending people unnecessarily, or dragging their threading, I will dismiss you, or they dismissed also 23rd, all childish action. Now that is why I told you to see the transaction. This time, is it a childish action or not? When this time is going, is it the time to suspend people or dismiss people? You wait for a time not to suspend and kill them. There will be time will come. But instead of waiting that, you created all those created. Now, this is second issue. One is that your contract labor law through is immature, what is called reactive, knee-jerking, childish kind of HR reaction to employee, which creates that second reason. What is the third reason? Third reason is external, culturally. That place has become very expensive because of all the industry. The local guys have got a lot of cars and everything. So they are now you've gone through that Maslow's hierarchy of needs you studied, na? These people, they are not happy only with the salary. They want to show that power. I can disrupt you. So, like that. So, now the third issue. One is the primary labor law issue. Second thing is petty managerial actions taken based on total transactional theory of knee-jerking, reactive activity, not a proactive one. The third is cultural issues outside. That's what you called it, that Agir and Yadav. They're particularly dominant community that area. They wanted to show their power. For any reason, I'll disturb you. No logic, nothing. Here and all, logically, you done it or failed it, that's understandable. Those guys also created a problem. Okay, you're doing all those kind of. So because of this thing, they could not have done it unless these issues are happened. You put more oil in the ghee. When you messed up, those guys waiting for an opportunity, they created. That's all this case has happened. One issue is that majorly contract labor issue. And the second thing is over complain. Who told you to pay more than 20% bonus? Who paid to pay more than the minimum salary? You paid more than the minimum salary. You paid than the. Now when they are asking for, now you say that I will not pay. The court says you are supposed to pay only if you paid more than that. The act clearly says it becomes a precedence. Then they have the right to ask. If you're not paid, it happened with me. Here I can tell you one small story. I was in the factory, I told you, 3 unions. UP, Bihar, Punjab. Around 1,200 people. And those industry was known for this kind of unrest. Not for logical reason. All 3 of them, they are trying to show. Inter-union rivalry, we call it. Or this Bihar union tried to show that I'm bigger than the Punjabis. And the plant is in Punjab. Punjab union was by the communist union. They will see this guy is different. All those kind of things. So once what happened is, I don't know whether I told you this small one. There were 30 sugar mills in Punjab. Okay. Out of 30 sugar mills, 20 was managed by private, like people like Tapas and Birlas, other group. 10 company was cooperative sugar mill, which was managed by an IAS officer as an MD. Okay. And all the 30 sugar mill, we had the All India Sugar Wage Board. The wage board will say you will get this much unskilled minimum salary, semi-skilled minimum salary, highly skilled minimum salary, this much cycle allowance, this much food allowance, all those things. It's a wage board. That's a wage board. All of us we are supposed to comply with that. We cannot pay less than that. If you pay less than that, then anybody can go to that. So there were 30 sugar mill, 20 was private, 10 was government. In one, all the 10, the CO used to be IAS officer. One guy, one IAS officer in one of the government run sugar mill has increased the cycle allowance from 25 to 50. The wage board said, say 25. These people went and talked to him or threatened him or talked to him nicely. He has made it 50. My union, my industry people, that especially the Punjabi Communist Union, they always look for a chance, not for a genuine reason, to create a problem. They come to my room saying that, sir, he has given me 50 rupees. Within 3 days, if you don't pay 50 rupees, 25 to 50, we will go on strike. Okay, I thought it's a very good chance. Because 3 months, I took charge as a CEO 7-8 months back. 3 months back, I had to yield to them because one of the bonus they went on strike. But in that factory, already they increased the bonus 20 to 23%. So I thought this time, if I go and touch this bonus less, I will fail. So when they come for 23 to 26, I goody talk to them, given them laddu, mita and all. I negotiated. Okay, you take listen and I could have been rough that time. I didn't decide to be rough because I could have failed it. Okay, now it's coming to compliance of law. It's a small money, 25 to 50 rupees, so small money. I told the management, this is the right time to teach a lesson to these guys. But 10 days we have to close the factory and all those things, but we can teach a nice lesson to these guys. They said, go ahead. So they come to me within 3 days. If the cooperative sugar mill has increased from 25 to 50, you have to give. We say we are working in the same state. If you don't give, we will go on strike. I said, nothing, go do whatever you want. So they waited that time. I'm simply saying I'll yield it. Then 1 week they followed once or twice. I said, nothing, I will not pay. Then they went on strike. Saying that I went and met the local SSP and the DM and all. It's your duty, the labor commissioner. I put the ball in those 3 guys. They started saying, oh, an IIT is challenging an IAS guy. That there was an IAS officer, collector, IPS officer, police wala, labor commissioner, class 1. I went and given them. You are supposed to take the law and order. They are asking which is over and above the law. I'm supposed to pay 25, I'm paying 25. They want 50, which I cannot pay. And because of that, law and order situation can take place. People can get murdered. You 3 are accountable. Okay, given in writing to them. I went on for 10 days, hi, why, all those kind of things. But the same group, they come and coax them. The IAS officer group, collector group. I was sitting nicely in my bungalow. We were all used to stay inside the colony. Nicely like a British type of bungalow, big bungalows, 2 acres, 3 acres. We enjoyed life there. You go on strike every day, morning, ending, Jindabad, Murdabad, Bhaskaran, Jindabad, all those kind of things. Went on for 10 days. So because the top management accepted my idea, that 10 days you'll go for a task. But once for all, you can set it right. Then we fix this case, IAS officer and IPS. I also given, my life is in danger. If something goes wrong, not the union, you IPS officer, you are accountable. You are supposed to. So you take a stand like that, compliance is over. But what this guy did it, they over complained. Had I complied with that 50 rupees, they could open whole lot of Pandora box. They could have touched each allowance. And in that case, I could not have gone to the IAS officer. Then that guy is smart. Huh? Have you not yielded? They surrendered. 10 days we lost. Production and all, we lost it. Not the other one sugar mill, not other department. The one guy by mistake, he paid it. Then the word went around all the private sugar factory joint hand. Then the word gone against that IAS officer to his own company. By that time, what they can do? They only transferred him. But at least I saved my company. It is not only question of increasing cycle allowance from 25 to 50. Tomorrow they'll open all the allowances. This is what happened here, Malaysia. You paid more minimum salary, more bonus. On the other side, this is over compliance. Under compliance, contract labor, you are not paid. Now tell me, by hearing to all these stories, whose mistake this strike could have been avoided or not avoided? It could have been avoided, right? We can tell them it's very barbaric, historic, they kill people. You can blame anybody. Who has to be blamed for all this? Correct. It's only employer. If you're done because of this is what the case study says. This is practical. It's very recent. It's not a historical. It's very recent. 2012, right? 2012 it started. Now it's 2020, 10 years back only. It is not a very old history. Somebody put some masala. It's a fact. So this is the case. What else? Have we concluded the case or anything left out? As I told you, 3 issues. One is that internal 2 issues. So how do you solve this case? Only one part. It's all relating to unrest. This case is, it looks like apparently the management could have prevented it. They have not prevented it. And the reason for the unstrike is 3. One is that not complying labor law or over complying labor law, particularly contract labor. 2, taking all kind of childish, immature, reactive actions like suspension, suspension, and all those things. 3, unfortunately, external situation also ordered to this issue. That's all this case study, right? You guys don't break your head, right? It triggers 1 paragraph, 5 sentence, 6 sentence. What is the learning? What is the recommendation? Recommendation is same. Comply with the law. Don't over comply. Don't less comply. Don't worry about number of unions coming in. Be transparent. Be smart in complying. Otherwise, be too creative in manipulating, which is very difficult. Today's it's not easy. I mean, that particular case also, okay, that particular group of employees were with it. Otherwise, you cannot do it. So, in nutshell, it is under the management 100%. HR guy, labor unrest can be 100% prevented, regulated, and controlled. Yes or no? Online guys, the conclusion of this case study is industrial unrest in the manufacturing industry can be prevented,
Yes, sir.
regulated,
Yes, sir.
regulated and controlled. The ball is in your court. You are the leader. Agreed or not agreed?
Yes, sir.
80%. Yeah. 20% I can say those kind of worst situation, no political, which is not happening now. It used to happen 30 years back, 20 years back, not now. Now, what else here on the PPT? Have we covered? I suppose everything we covered. We don't need PPT.
One more additional point is like the sensitivity. Hello?
Tell me, sir.
Yeah, it is a sensitivity of the people's mind. When they have studied, the unrest is common among themselves, because they will article is showing that they will quarrel for small things within the region, within the caste, within the religion and all.
No, all those things you created a platform for everybody to exploit you, no?
Yeah, right. But before taking the decision,
you only create. Suppose you have not done this labor law implementation, the problem could not have happened.
Yeah,
Second, this
right.
3-4 silly action. Somebody is trying to form a union or suspending people or dismissing people. If you have not done it, we could have saved lives. We could have saved crores of rupees. Correct? That's it. Not simple. This is a 3-line case. So the conclusion is, it is solvable. It's preventable, not solvable. There's no question of solving an IR.
Yes.
It can be prevented 90%. There are sometimes government policies, external issues which we cannot help it. 80 to 90% it can be solved.
I wanted to add something here, Professor.
Right, go ahead.
So I was
no breaks for you guys, huh?
I was staying in Gurgaon around this time, and I stayed there for 5 years.
Then he can explain.
One of my roommate, rather, from my hometown was working with Maruti Suzuki and one with Honda.
Right, go ahead.
So the problem is not just here caste based, but I would say somewhere the case study I could relate also with organizational theory as well, and some part with the HRM as well, because from the employer top down, they were forcing employees to work more like robots. The work pressure was extremely high, and the employees were really frustrated. It's not like this was the only major point that is the only reason why they had a problem, but the problem was there, and it was brewing for a long period of time because they were not being handled properly. They had very excessive work pressure. There were stories also where they had removed doors of the washrooms of the in the plant, because the employees, they were getting too tired and they would take bio breaks, and then they will take little time to come back. They'll take little time to maybe relax a bit and then come back, and that was not acceptable to the Japanese promoters. So they wanted employees to come back and deliver the targets and whatever they have in their mind. So that was creating so much pressure that they were like already reeling too much, in that kind of pressure where they would have reacted. So small bits and pieces were like just, trigger points
Mhm.
that make them explode and come back. And I think HRM group here was caught in the middle of
Mm.
things, because
Correct.
now the floor supervisors or the managers who were expected to get the work out of the employees, they found that the situation is not too explosive, so the HR was pushed forward that you please try and mitigate, try and solve the problem, maybe pacify the people, and then they were caught in the crosswinds.
So what are you trying to conclude in one word? HR was not promptly, preactively taking charge.
Legally, they could have done a little bit, but I think the work pressure was enormous, because I think there is, from the OT perspective, organizational theory perspective, I would say there is a behavioral pattern from a Japanese promoter
Mm.
in which they would expect output in a way they would expect from maybe in Japan maybe, but they don't understand the cultural difference, the way India, the employees would
See,
operate,
See,
and
at the,
where to stop.
the survey taken by different agencies, including the newspaper people, which is reported or not reported in the case study, they were not complaining about the Japanese management or working hours and salary. Rather, they talk very well. They only talked about that NDA government and Indian government taking charge and creating problems. Disinvestment started place, that has created a problem. Then the NDA government started interfering. They were never complained about Japanese management. Rather, they were very happy with the Japanese management principles, benefits, and everything.
I would differ to certain extent here, sir, because I come from Jamshedpur and I have seen Tata Motors operate.
Mm.
So Tata Motors would also be a manufacturing unit for trucks and all in Jamshedpur. They do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the way they treat the employees is very different, and the way I saw employees getting treated in Maruti Suzuki.
Yeah.
So the way they
See, one second, hold on. If that was the issue, that was a good case for them to take it initially and middle that level, right? That has not been exploded like that. They've been asked to work more than 8 hours, or they have not paid overtime. See, within 8 hours, how do I make them to sit and work, which is little difficult to measure, right? If they make you to work for 10 hours, don't pay overtime, then it's a clear-cut case.
No, probably, sir, I would support him in a little bit, because maybe it's not the overtime, but it is the overproduction also a kind of stress on the employee.
See, tell me which industry today in India, including this industry, the HR guys are also there here and there, within 8 hours, how could you put pressure on the workman to produce?
See, that's what. See, for example, even for us,
There are, I can tell you how the workman get exploited is probably instead of 8 hours, they'll push him to work for 10 hours, they will not pay overtime. That's all they do. But that workman has got all the right to catch them by collar and pay me overtime and double the overtime. But within 8 hours, making them to pay more. And what is the union doing? When that was a thing, the union should have been taking care of it, right? Your time and motion study, your output study, you are also fixing the output per plant, per line, and things like that. Right? So, yeah. What I'm trying to say is, okay, what you say, there was also some unrest in undue work pressure put on the workman, right? This is what both of you are trying to say, right?
Consistent pressure. I mean, see, the thing is, the way, let's say, for example, they remove the door of a washroom.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these are one of the tips and tricks of, things that they were doing in small bits and pieces to ensure that, the production would stay up. But then, that was coming with a lot of pressure.
This kind of things, that we cannot take into full, authentic information just because it could be true also. But, you cannot take it unless it's reported somewhere, right? Correct. Now we have to do within the case. We cannot go predominantly outside the case, without authentic info. It could be what you're saying could be right. Or in another nutshell, I'm trying to conclude that there's an undue pressure put on the workman more than their capability. They wanted them to work, which also created a problem, right? This is the point you are trying to say, which is quite possible. Hello?
Yes, sir.
This is the point you are trying to say, which is quite possible. And in that case, union should have been stood up for that. Union never stood for this thing. Anyhow, now come back to that issue. Which are the issues in this case? Come on, anybody can read. We already you guys can read this one. Issues in the case. Online student, can you read? We have to read for you.
Yes, yes, we
Yes, sir,
are
we can.
able to read.
Frontline supervisor not handling employees in a peaceful atmosphere without understanding the social and cultural caste-based one. You have to understand whichever industry you are working, you have to know the local culture. You cannot go beyond that. So you should also be close to the frontline work, which it was not there. And HR not involved in shop floor. Third is Sonu Gujar trust breaking, no transparency. He was going away. You paid him money and then made him to go. That created lack of consistency. Fourth is what? Not implementing strict compliance. Not handled union or a vested group dispute. Okay, they created a vested group. Not transparently suspending worker and not quickly deciding the inquiry and all those things. It went on like unnecessarily. Not worked properly with all the stakeholders. All stakeholders means what? The local people, union, government, everybody could have been worked. Then lockdown allowance. See, when they lock down the factory illegally, more than 90 days or so, they're supposed to pay the illegally allowance. You are not paid the allowance. So like I said, income tax means you have to pay the tax, right? GST you have to pay 18%, 12%, 6%. Whatever admitted, I have to pay. You are saying admitted, still I will not pay. Lockdown allowance you have to pay. If it is more than 90 days, the law says more than 90 days means if it is an illegal lockdown, you have to pay 50% as a subsistence allowance. So you are openly not complying. Okay, so all those things created issues. These are the issues. What is the next one? Yeah. What is the learning from the case? Already we concluded here. Comply and implement strictly labor law. LL means labor law. What is it? Keep transparency in implementation. We've discussed a lot, I think. Do not get entangled with the groupism, union politics. I remove this guy, I'll join with the. This is most of the guys do it. They think that's all. They don't know they are getting the big soup getting into that. Because they are not confident. They are not leaders. No, they believe in somebody XYZ guy. Fourth is what? Lenient when we are not legally correct. Guys, all of you read this one. Be smart. Lenient when you are not legally correct. When legally you are totally incorrect, you are not paid the contract labor salary and things like that. Time you are trying to suspend and do all those. Like I was waiting for 25 to 50. That was a time we have to wait for it. When initially 3 months back, when they wanted more bonus, I given. Because then I could have failed as a CO initially itself. Because the industry has been doing it. There I was wrong, they were right. Here I was right. So lenient when things are legally, that's a maturity. Yeah. We understand the dynamics of educated now. The other thing is, previously we had uneducated workers, which had got plus and minus. They can easily manipulated by somebody. That is also different. Now, educated workers, we don't know. It's really you don't need a union. Everybody's a union guy. Here, educated worker, socially well settled workers, and they are also working for a high level of recognition. So HR guys should understand the dynamics. And after understanding the dynamics, strictly be at the law. Nothing more or less than that. Don't even meet anybody. Keep that kind of things. But those guys are all educated guys. They are not uneducated workmen. They are socially high, culturally high. So they can create problem anytime. So what is the solution? Strictly be compliant, like Americans now. Rule is rule. Even Shahrukh Khan goes, if you have to go through a security gate, if you have to remove the shoe, he has to remove. They don't bother about Shahrukh Khan or anybody. Our people created a problem, na? I don't know how many of you go through cross the London airport and all for security. Indian airport, you can walk with your shoes and things. London and all. Now Indian also they started. London and all you. No, there each ever socks, everything have to be removed in London and all. Which is not that for you or me, for Shahrukh Khan, Salman Khan also they have to do. They strictly they go by process. For them, process. Nobody. Nothing right and wrong. You comply with process. If you are not complying with the process, you are equivalent like anybody else. There was an issue, no? Once Shahrukh Khan went, they allowed, they didn't treat him, and they changed everything. It was a big issue. You know how Shahrukh Khan? They are not bothered about Shahrukh Khan. But they'll inside, but they will not show it. If you give this kind of thing, not sometime, all the time. But they'll wait for you. I've seen it myself in London many times. Airports. You have to be extremely careful. If you are right, they will not do. If you are where we are not supposed to go with a shoe without putting it, if you go, they are already seeing you in a different eyes. Then they'll bounce upon you, no? They'll say, you Indians, you don't know, you black, you don't know the rules and they'll not do all those kind of things. Who is giving an opportunity? You are only giving it. Huh? Worst is London. My God. I decided not to go via London at all. I go through San Francisco here and there somewhere else. London is an airport. They'll wait for a chance to security. Since you cross a security, you have to count your fingers. I don't know what these guys are going to ask. I never heard got Frankfurt worse than this one. So better not leave India. Yeah, let's be here. Okay. What I think we have covered everything. Yeah. Learning also maybe same thing. Have you covered the case? Have you understood it? Any need to read the case study? I can ask you a question from that. What is the learning from Maruti, Manesar, or how the industrial unrest can be avoided? Done, na? Okay, now long time, you go and have your coffee and come back. But it's all said and good job. You are supposed to study and come, and we are supposed to solve. How did we solve it? We studied and discussed and solved here, right? We are all smart people, no? Right?
Sir, if you don't mind me asking a question.
Please go ahead. Please go.
So, sir, you have been on HRM side and you have been a CEO as well.
Yeah.
So probably you would be the right person to answer this.
Please
But
ask. I'll tell you.
So,
Please ask.
anyone who is in HRM would always have to follow the lines of the company and what the company top executive would want them to do or to
Right.
execute.
Right.
So here in this case here, in Maruti's case, let's say if the top employment, the top management itself is not really interested in solving the issue and rather wants to keep pushing forward because that's what has been happening for last 10 years, 12 years. So they feel that they'll get through with this also. So what can a HRM do in that case? Because it's like top management doesn't want to agree, people who are below, they don't want to agree. Now where do we go?
See, this situation was worst. What you said was prevailing 20-30 years back, 100%. Right? HRM could not have done anything, even though they know they take all HRM guys definitely know all those things. I not say that HR guys doesn't. With due respect, HR guys, whatever we are talking, compliance, non-compliance, unlabor, what could be the consequences? If not 100%, 90% HR professional are aware of this. What happened is that last 20 years, or now recently they are getting it. They were not getting into the management's level. They always used to keep them like a staff to be kept away. Oh, what HR guys do. The way they used to give importance to operation or a marketing or even a finance guy, the HR guys were not getting that kind of importance. Hello, you are getting my point.
Yes,
so this started, the HR getting importance started last 15-20 years. Okay, now, especially when the globalism happening and all, global, international company, multinational, they talk about very high importance to diligence, due diligence of compliance of labor law. Suppose your company is getting merged. So this has become a top priority to the management. Are you getting my point? When
Right.
suppose you join with some company or you want to take a loan from some private equity and all those things, first thing they will put on the independent guys to see a due diligence on compliance of labor law. No, because of that, the top management will also talk in like that. Previously, top management used to think we can manage it. What is the big issue? India, no, jugaad kind of thing. That was the culture or acceptance was there, which made this HR guys teethless. One. Two, as I told you, even otherwise, HR, who is HR? Top management is first HR. If the
Right.
top management is not owing the responsibility of HR, then HR guys will keep on doing or ignore or he keep on changing his job.
Right.
What is the alternative up to that guy? Most of the places are same, but still he'll keep on changing the job.
Yeah, right.
I hope I answered your question.
CEO needs to understand that part. But yeah, I was just trying to understand like
Now,
options that from operation point of view.
now most of the CEOs they are understanding two reasons. One, negatively it can get into big problem because you will not get global recognition, fund and all those kind of things. Positively, if you don't keep a right kind of people, your productivity, creativity, innovation, all those cannot take place. So they started understanding from both angles.
But in a way, a person who is in HRM would somewhat be limited by the decisions and has to follow or to the
No,
company.
see, I'll tell you, 20 years back, HRM guy, rarely used to be in the board of directors. Now
Okay.
all the companies HR director is equally sitting in the board. And
Okay.
in all the day-to-day meeting he sits. In all the cross-functional meeting, HR guy sits.
So they get a say in this
Now,
situation.
now they are getting that opportunity and involved.
Okay. Okay.
Now, HR director is obviously the one of the board of directors. Previously, it was not there. I am talking about 20, 30 years back. And in the cross-functional team, every day the HR guy is in the meeting. When production is not less, HR guy is responsible. Okay, that's things are changing.
That is also true. That I have seen happening.
That is also happening. You know that, nah? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks. Thank you, sir. Thank you for
Thank you.
answering.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, madam. All went all right? Huh? Unit, okay. Total is only 7 people? Then the labor law is applicable, na? That's why I asked you how many people. Where is your plant? Okay. It comes under the Shops and Establishment Act. It comes under Shops and Establishment Act. Okay. If you want, let me know. I'll tell 1 or 2 guys who can help you in case you need it. They have to come back. In case you need, let me know. You take my phone number and then. Because it's better to comply and then today it's not easy to, people will go and tell something unless there are moving workers, no? Then they are not bothered. They're not. Then to, that's also wrong, no? Even if they work, you are not supposed to give. So at least you have to, on attendance, you have to show them leave and pay that money separately. Yeah. Yeah, you have to pay them on attendance. You show them not working, and pay them the otherwise like an incentive or something. You can pay it like a production incentive. That doesn't come under bonus. Yeah, or you pay it as overtime or it's paid as an incentive. Suppose 4 days salary, how will you pay them? On record, you are going to show them they are not worked. But you have to pay them the 4 days salary. You pay them like a production incentive. This month, a lot of production done, so we are happy to pay you. That is purely your will. They cannot ask tomorrow to continue with that kind of production incentive. Bonus is different, incentive production is different. That's all pure will. But the moment you give it as a bonus, then they have the right to claim every year. Yeah. No, bonus act is applicable. Minimum you have to pay 8.33, maximum you can pay 20% their wage. If you don't pay, then it will be a non-compliance. No, this is how people all will wait for, no? Yeah, it's your own venture, your family venture. You are basically your venture. You are with somebody else.
Sir, Vijay here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Regarding this Maruti Suzuki case study.
Go ahead. I never thought it will create so much interest, Maruti. Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead. I'm happy.
With, all those points as a conclusion, I agree. I strongly agree with that. Related to the labor law, contract workers, how they have been managed and all those things. But if you think in terms of maybe the root, maybe the root of where it comes from, people largely will not understand these laws and all those things. But the unrest might have happened because of the behavioral misjudgment, right?
No, I'm not getting your point.
Yeah, I mean to say that I think when the unrest will happen, people will behave out of control. Why should the people behave with the out of control? They don't have all those knowledge of laws and all those.
You know that my point is that you don't worry about employee, you don't worry about union, you worry about yourself. You're getting my point. You set your house in order, nobody can do any damage to you. Yeah, my principle is same. You comply with it, you do it. Any number of union, you are worried about not getting new union coming. Why do you worry about it? What union can do to you?
That is correct.
How long you can worry like that? If X, Y, Z, somebody will keep on coming, right? Tomorrow. There's no end to that.
But that trigger point might have been different, right? That trigger point for why the people have gone outraged.
Especially when you're running such a big, large scale workers industry.
Yeah.
You are working 20, 30, 50. Okay, still you can talk to them formally, informally, you can manage and do all those things. When such a large scale industry, multicultural people are working with a lot of awareness.
Yes.
If you are not set right, all right, then anybody can attack you, na?
Yeah, but see that is correct. But why at the core of it, okay, I am very perfect in all the laws and I am maintaining every records and there's no
right. Then nobody can do anything to you, I can tell you.
Yeah, but still in the people's mind, if something is there that is saying that no, this company or this guy is not doing correctly, even though if he is doing correctly.
No, let them have their own opinion. Now, who is bothered about their opinion? Thousands of people can have out of 100 people will have different opinion. The company is exploiting, not paying more, not paying this and that thing, all those things. Let them do it, na?
Yeah, but when that grows out of the proportion.
Even if it goes for negotiation, see, in this case, there was no case left out for negotiation, right?
Okay.
See, you're talking about negotiation. Union
Yes.
wants always something more. They have the right to come to you like a parent.
Correct.
Then you can do. But something they want, you made a mistake on which they are trying to cash upon. You know, you
Yes.
could do nothing here, right? What you could have done here?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, all those things are correct. But to unrest has happened because of somebody's maybe the behavioral mismatch. He was not able to
No, you,
convey to the people the way
yeah,
it has to be conveyed.
right. That's what communication with top management and the down management everywhere.
Yeah.
So you agree with me that this could have been prevented by the top management, by the
Yes, yes,
management, by the
definitely,
HR.
definitely.
It would have been prevented, right?
Yes.
By not
So,
preventing, what kind of damage we got it? That also, you know.
yes. I agree.
Sir, when are the exams being scheduled? Do you have any idea?
This no, huh?
Already
11th, they say 11th and 12th. 11th, 12th, 18th, 19th. This is what I'm told. You confirm.
no, we have received email communication regarding those.
Yeah, you
dates.
must have received. You must have received.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But don't worry about Acha. Acha, one thing, yeah, well, many of you still not uploaded your assignments. Have you uploaded, madam? Great, both. Yeah. Both assignment I started grading. Even second assignment also I graded. Anyhow, you come, maybe I'm in the process. Yeah.
Okay.
Those who are not uploaded, how do I grade? Yeah.
And Professor, you have given us less marks than what you agreed last week.
You'd whatever that kind of grievance you write to me, I'll correct it.
Yeah, this
You
was for
WhatsApp.
groups. Okay, we'll do that.
You'd send a WhatsApp.
Okay.
Let everybody get settled first.
So, are you still uploading the grades, sir?
Still, you are uploading the assignment pin. How will I give marks? You don't want to pass?
No, I uploaded it, but I have not yet received the grade. So I just
all of you, I think 28 people are online. All of you even get 100% mark in your end term exam. Without 2 assignment, you will fail. It's other way around. Even then you lose mark, na? It's other way around. You get good marks, even your exam right, reasonable, not very good also, you'll pass. But if you say that I will not submit assignment, I'll get 100% mark in that end term exam, you're gone. So all of you, please, within 24 hours upload. What is the time limit given? 25th is first one. Gone. Long back. So those guys who are not uploaded, I think they will not be, even the system will not allow them. Unless you go and talk to Rajan sir and then he enables, you will not be able to upload. Guys, now there's no sound coming from online student. Right? I mean, your interest I'm talking, please even now, get the permission of Rajan sir, get it enabled and upload it. Okay, 25th is second assignment, you are allowed means you are allowed. First assignment, you are legally not allowed anymore. So, but still Rajan sir may consider, because we are not here to fail you, all of you, right? But you want to be failed yourself, what can we do? Online student, any grievance? Last 30 minutes we'll discuss. Our relationship for this course is next 30 minutes, right? Right? Huh? I don't know what course I'm going to teach you second term. But the second year MBA students, I'm going to teach corporate governance and CSR. That allotment has come to me. Okay, guys, any grievance? Madam, any grievance? Any discussion, any clarity? Somebody is waiting for only the suggestions. You are the representative. Okay. Union leader. She's a union leader. Huh? Okay, online student, any question, any discussion, any doubts? Acha, in the
No, Professor, I think we're okay.
all clear. Okay, no, I'm talking about now your examination, your assignment, your expected question, all those issues. Now let's not take another case study. It's already over. Okay, let's discuss this part. Anything, any grievances from anyone?
Sir, expected questions.
Okay, that don't worry, we'll give you. And Acha, in the LMS, I remember I loaded some few question and answer. Is it there or not there? Oh yeah, 100. It is there or not? The folder is blank. That's what somebody told me. Okay. So, okay, any one of you remind me tomorrow. I will send it. Okay, that. Okay, now what do you want? What else other than question and answer? It all will be small case study. Very small case study. I can show you if I have. Come on, online student. The problem is I have to locate. It is there or not? But no. Huh? I'm told nothing is there. I'm told nothing is there. See, I can show you some typical question till you give me 1 or 2 days because I'm supposed to give 3-4 sets. Out of that, one can come. Now quickly you can say like questions like, come on, quick, fast. Questions like, what is HRM? What is SHRM? What is HR trends and technology? What is training and development? Done? Hey, what is HR? What is SHRM? You don't have to write the sentence. What is HR? What is SHRM? What is HR trends? What is training and development? What is employee retention strategies? Process of appraisal. This all will tell in the class. What is job description and job specification? What Kirkpatrick's evaluation model, training evaluation model? What are the selection tests? This could be one pattern. The case study will be like this. Small case study. If you want, I'll try to share 5-6 case studies which are likely to come. Small case study, not the one we are discussing in the class. This will be case-led. There will be 2 questions you are supposed to answer like this. Oh, you guys are first time writing exam, no? Yeah, come on guys. C section is going to carry maximum marks. 45 marks. It's 1 page, 1.5 page case-led. It's called case-led. You're supposed to study. Then at the bottom, there will be 2 questions, 2 or 3 questions. And all of you are intelligent guys. I don't think it will be difficult for you. What are the case slides which are likely to come? I'll arrange it and give it to you in one folder. Not. Oh, please don't write more. You write more marks, more answer, less marks. Huh? That you will not get 0. Okay, all of you concentrate more on the C section. A section, don't worry at all. We discussed in the class. Okay, let's imagine from the beginning what are we discussed here. Come on. Okay, you go through it, then I'll tell you. This go through the other section. SHRM is already there. What is collective bargaining? Training and development is already there. Huh? No, we already discussed this kind of questions. It must be in the LMS also. What is the IR? What do you understand by industrial relations? What is appraisal system? What is transactional HRM? What is transformational HRM? What is SHRM? Online student, are you making notes?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Transactional, transformational, SHRM. What are the roles of HR, guys? HR is a line and staff function. Okay. Again, there'll be small caselet like this. I'll try and give you some 5-6 caselets, which you don't have to read it, but still, if you want to read, you can read. It's just one page caselet. You're so smartly, huh? So this is one. I'll also see. This all we already seen it, right? Which one? This folders. This guy is asking, can I upload all this in LMS? Okay. Chalo, be comfortable. Come on, guys. From the beginning, what all the questions can come? I've given it already. You write it again. HRM definition, HRM roles, staff role or a line role, transactional HRM, transformational. Okay. SHRM. Now you also touched about IR. What is IR? What is collective bargaining? Okay. Then coming to, this is first part of your module. What is the next one? What is job description? What is job specification? What is KRA? What is KPI? That could be your next. What we taught only I can ask you. That starts the next session. Right? Third is what training. What is training process? What is training evaluation? What is training need analysis? This comes under the third module, right? Then what is the fourth? Performance appraisal. What is the difference between performance appraisal and management? What is the process of performance management? What are the bias in performance management? What are the halo effects in performance management? Sorry? Caselet will be a small caselet. This is all question section A and B. Third section will be case study. 35, 45 marks. Major mark goes to caselet. What I'm talking is section A and B. Section C, there could be 5-6 caselets. If you want that, that also I'll share with you guys. Which caselet will come, I don't know. Oh, it will only. Okay. It will be one page only. This case. Okay, now we covered training, Kirkpatrick's training evaluation, which you already written it. Okay, PMS we written. What else we studied? Performance management, performance appraisal and management, KRA, KPI, Kirkpatrick's training evaluation. What else? यही तो आएगा ना, what else? Sorry? Sorry? That's all. See why I'm saying, 3 questions I give sets. Which one the examination department will pick up? Now, how all put together, what, 20 questions? 15, 20, right? And the case let, practically speaking, you don't need to study, but still you are very sincere student, you want to study, I'll give you 5, 6 cases. Case let, so you can write it. And the evaluation will be liberal. Please don't write more. And write legibly. Write, underline each question is over. Don't try to mess up between section A to C and A, B, all those kind of. Go systematically. Touch section A, finish section E. Come write every 1, 2, 3 answer and underline it. You don't know, really, sometimes we go mad in connecting it. You don't know, if somebody are touching section A, 1 or 2 question, and then it's okay. Your paper to still, it's easy. When you go MBA online examination department to correct and upload it there. Your case also, I think probably now we have to go. So far it was online. We could sit at home and do it. Now we have to go to examination department, like you will get locked inside. Then can you do it more than 10 papers at a time? Difficult. No? And in that, if you do that kind of tamasha, I really don't know section A, 2, the margin to write very well, na? Question 2, 3, 4, because their marks given, column is given. So you are likely to lose. Please be careful, because we are also human beings, we go mad. 100 question paper, 120 question paper, and going to the examination, sitting from online, it was easy. Sometime you do 20 morning before tea, 20 you do lunchtime, 20 you touch in the evening. It was going at your own convenience, sitting at your bed. So far you are doing it. Here, you have to go to the examination hall. They will lock you inside. They'll enter it. And then we have to correct and enter then and then. No, please. I have not irritated you, right? So please don't irritate you. So not many questions. And if you open our LMS, what is that? It's already there. All PPTs are. And the other way is to just go through my PPT slides. Should you open? If you want, you're most welcome to read 2 books I given. Right? Huh? That's what I'm trying to open. See, all these things are already there. Yeah. You don't have to study in detail about KRA, KPA. Just have a simple concept, and little bit about what is job description, what is job specification. See, what we discuss in the class, that is for your learning purpose. You don't have to read at that level. Here it's going to be all short, small questions. What we delivered in the class, what PPTs we have, that's for your learning. If at all you want to learn and keep it for future. For examination point of view, make it very simple. Don't get into, we are not going to ask you. Then training and development also, I told you what is training process, what is training this thing. And case study, Southwest Airlines, I don't think this is coming. That's all again for learning. Portman Capital cannot come for a question. There are questions we can ask, learning from the case study, explain about the model, which we are not asking. Oh yeah. So I'm telling you the elimination. So whatever is studied in Southwest Airlines or Portman or Manesher and all, that's all for your learning purpose. For examination purpose, what short, small questions are given? What is recruitment? What is selection? What are the methods involved in selection? What are the different kinds of training? What is the difference period? All those things are already here. Only 3-4 PPTs you have to go through. And not serious questions on labor law and IR. You'll fail, all of you, I know that. Right. That's what that's why last class I touched. Do you think that what we did today is relevant? I mean, at least you have some idea about it. Otherwise, HR student don't know anything about IR. Even today, IR is basic for maximum industries. Even your syllabus is that 5th unit is IR. Studied, huh? Okay. But if I have to teach you each labor law one by one, you'll go mad. You want to see that? Labor law, this is labor law code. There are 44 labor laws. Okay. Now, okay, you guys learn this thing, simple. After independence, initially they thought it's a socialistic country, no? They believed employer will exploit employee. Okay. In that, they come out with 44 acts which is in favor of employee. Okay. It was implemented, not implemented. All of us were managing, whatever. The first time in your life, 2020, the government of India took a bold step up, removing all those 44 labor laws. Come with a 4 labor code, which I want to teach you in the class. There's no time. At least go through that. It used to be 44 labor laws. Payment of Wages Act, Bonus Act, TS Act, all those blah, blah, blah. Now, 2020, they passed out with 4 labor code. In that, they wanted to balance both employee and employer. The first time a new labor legislation, which has passed with prudence. Okay, this all you should have learned, but there was no time to learn, and it may little go above your head. Okay, those who take a specialization, they'll go through that. But the PPT I've already uploaded. Okay. Let's see, more than 40. Huh? Last 2 years it was approved. It was supposed to be implemented April 21st. Now, at least I'll tell you what is the major implication. Yeah, major. That's what I'm trying. Only 2 slides. What is the major reform? See, from the employee's benefit. Previously, your CTC, no? We used to break the way we wanted. Suppose his CTC is 30,000, 25,000. We used to keep a less PF basic so that I can pay him less PF and ESA. I used to manipulate. Each company used to manipulate the way they wanted. Now, as per the new labor law, they said you cannot manipulate. Whatever total salary, 50% is presumed as basic. So that means the employee gets benefit or not benefit. How get benefits? He'll get good number of PF and ESI. But his carry home salary goes less. Are you getting my point? I'll only tell you the major implication on this 4 codes, which is only 4 codes. Previously, his 30,000 salary, I used to break it in my own style because I don't want to pay him extra PF and ESI. The government thought these guys are manipulating. Whatever I'm paying, 50% will be treated as a basic. Huh? Past to be president has approved it. Now, why it has not implemented? See, passed by the central government. Implementation comes by the state government. There are a lot of political issues involved. They were all going slow. Now the government, central government has again given an ultimatum from April 22nd to implement it. Yeah, no, legally it has become law. But state government was not implementing. Because please listen, what are the major things? The other thing is that so employee will get more PF ESI. It's good for him. But again, they are carrying my carry home salary will go less. Okay. And then let's take home. This is one side from employee side. From the employer side, major benefit. Previously, if I have to retrench more than 100 employees, I have to get government's permission to retrench. Now I don't need up to 300 employees. My factory has got 250 employees. I want to lay them off or close down. I don't need government's approval. That is why the union people are objecting to it. As per the new labor code, what the employer is getting benefit. Previously, more than 100 means without getting government's approval, I cannot lay off, I cannot close the industry. Getting government approval is 101% not possible. Because the political issue, they will not give approval. Now up to 300 employees, I don't need anybody's approval, which means I will go right and left by close my factories. Right and left, I lay them off. So they're taking it purely from a foreign investment. Those guys, they said, if you don't remove all the classes, we will not invest. So this is in favor of employer. But the employee who have been used to that kind of security will not like it. That's one reason most of the state government is not coming forward to implement, though it has become a law. Okay. See, previously, up to more than 100 employees means you have to get government approval to lay them or lock down. Now up to 300 employees, I don't need permission. Up to 300 employees, most factory will come, right? So I don't need government's permission to lay it off or close the factory, which is in the company's benefit. And the other benefit to employees' benefit is that previously company can delay the settlement and pay the payment. Now, as per the law, within 48 hours, they have to clear all the payments. If they don't clear, it's a criminal and civil offense. Previously, people will retire or get dismissed and all those things. They don't get their final settlement, goes to months and years and follow it up. And most probably even the government companies. Now the law has come within 48 hours, the settlement should take place, their money should go to them. That is in favor of employee. So these 4 codes taken care of, balanced both employee and employer. What else? Easy to wind up the company. Set coverage, employee get more benefit. Acha, from the employer side, my wage bill will go up more. How my wage will go up more? I was manipulating the basic and things like that. Now I cannot manipulate. The contribution to PF, PSI bonus is calculated on basics and things like that. Now previously, to avoid that, I used to keep less basics. Now I cannot do that because it's a uniform rule. Whatever you pay, man, 20,000 you are paying, we'll treat 10,000 as a base, which means huge money ordered to the company. Previously, I was paying, say, for example, 10 crore rupees as wage salary. It'll go to 11 crores because of increase in the contribution to PF and DS. This guy gets benefited, but still is crying. He's crying because my carry home salary gets less. Okay. I think these are the major. It has become 4 code. Previously, it was 44 labor laws. Good man, we covered. It used to be 44 labor laws like minimum wage, payment of wages, bonus act, substance establishment act, work industrial, many acts were there. It's all they covered it in a different way. Now they get new code is, one code is on wages. Second code is on social security. Now you are listening, I'll ask questions from here also, okay? No, don't do it. Okay. Whether, no, I'll not ask. It's a little complicated, I don't want it. See, here, I'm not here to judge you or punish you. I'm here to make you to learn and pass you easily. Correct? There's a concept called benefit of doubt in law. One guy by mistake should not get punishment. Jurisprudence says, no? In the criminal act and all, the benefit of doubt always goes in favor of the culprit. By mistake, even one guy should not get a punishment. By mistake, the guy who made mistake goes without punishment, it's okay. That is the jurisprudence of act. Okay, now there are 4 codes. One code is on wage, second is on social security, third is on IR code, the fourth is occupational safety and health. In the 4 code, they covered all the 44 acts. Lot of difficulty for HR guys understanding 44 acts, and that each act, the definition of wage is different. For PF Act, definition of wage is one. Bonus Act, there is one. ES Act, there is another one. They will say 15,000, the other act will say 21,000. Now they removed all those kind. It's a very good act according to me, but both people are not happy. Employer not happy because more wage bill, but they are not saying that I'm easily we can wind up the company. Employee is not happy because my carry home salary goes less, so increase more my salary and implement it. So the status today is it's already been approved by it's a central list. There are 3 kind of powers: central list, state government list, and the concurrent list. Okay, so it is prepared by the central government has got the authority. They passed the act. The president has already given the approval for implementation. Due to Corona period and things like that, state government said we don't have time to prepare the rules for that. You give us time. They want to delay. We have a lot of opposition from the union to the state government. But now the central government is putting a stipulation from April 22nd, you have to implement. Huh? Already implemented? Yeah, you got it already. Because now state government will not be delayed. So now this also is studied. Good, yeah, you are a good student. Picked up many things. In one day only you covered IR course. Huh? Only one day, 3 hours class. Huh? Anything else you want to ask? No, question is also over, right? C section is main. Concentrate more on C section. A and B, don't break your head. What I'm not going to ask you, I told you. No questions will come from big case studies. Whatever basic concept you taught in the 3-4 PPTs, job description, job specification, recruitment, transactional, transformational, 3 slides only go through, maximum you'll cover it. Life is easy? Huh? I agree with you. It sounds easy when it's exam is an exam, always you learn. That I agree with you. But still, when compared to read these 2 big books, na, what? Far better. You have to read Harry Dessler book is already there in your LMS. And Armstrong book is also there. But these 2 books are good for your future reference. Please, I don't know whether you are allowed. Why, man? C is representing all your class, and you're pushing that girl at front side, right? That is different. Well, but benefits all of you are getting, no? Right? So anything else? Any other questions? Everything's clear. Sir, please write to exam paper neatly, clearly, legibly. That is another worst thing. I know. Please put bulleted points and underline each question over. On the margin, you write it. Section A, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. So that we see it and then and there we give marks. Because I'm telling you, I have to come and see the one day. There's an examination hall there like this. We have to go and enter, register, we'll get locked. Previously, online, though, we were all sitting at home and correcting it. Now it's not possible. And imagine 100. And different people's handwriting. Worst point is that they don't even write which question number where you have to look for. You ended with, then again you have to go back. Because we are all worried now. Some answer we have given 0. You return it, but by mistake we have given 0. And there is a second evaluator. Yeah, when we suppose I miss something, the second evaluator finds it out. It will go on the first evaluator. Huh? Always they have a second evaluator. First evaluation is normally done by the faculty who done it. Right. Right. It's an university, no? They have the process. First evaluation is done by the faculty who done it. Second evaluator could be anybody. Okay. Huh? Sorry. Simply